Bloody Nerdigans, this is the one and only Tiger Girl 89, and today's book, Nerdigans, discussion is in the Afterlight. And I'm really excited because I finally get to do this video, and I loved In the Afterlight. It's probably, I've noticed this, I just finished the Wildfire trilogy, which there will be videos on, and I've noticed that all the books I've read this year have had amazing endings, like series-wise. I mean, I liked Blood of Olympus a lot. The ending was really sweet, and I loved how everything went full circle. And In the Afterlight did the same thing. In the Afterlight went full circle, which is what I really like. So now let me talk about my thoughts on it. So I thought during the president's speeches and everything, I totally thought that, and I'm sorry, the president's actions, I loved that Alexandra Braken portrayed Clancy in the same way that the president acts, because it explains a lot. And I remember when Ruby was going through Lillian's mind, that was so insane, because Clancy, if you remember, Clancy like totally erased everything from her mind, and it was really, really interesting. There was a lot of feels in this book, which was like Zoo being back, and when Zoo spoke, even though Liam was being a jerk, Zoo spoke, and I almost cried. I was cheering. I was so happy. So many happy tears. And the big shocker was when Lillian Gray said that IAAN was caused by bioterrorism via the water system via Agent Ambrosia. And I think it's funny that I just realized, to me, that's kind of funny, because Ambrosia in Percy Jackson heals gods, but Ambrosia here is a chemical that mutates in vitro. And I was just saying, holy Colony and Arceus, the U.S. government poisoned these mothers. That's horrible. Another moment that I loved, and I was so happy, and I called this the last book, we have a cheetah moment, aka, if you don't know who that is, what that means, that's Chubbs and Vita, and they got caught making out in the closet, making love in the closet. I was like, yay, about time, we needed that. And the way that it sounded like a booty call kind of thing. It just made me think of the stereotypes that Tommy Sotomayor talks about in his videos. And with the exception of Vita not having a weave, she is totally stereotypical of what, you know, Tommy Sotomayor says. But it started out as a booty call, but, you know, the differences between what Tommy says about dark-skinned women and Vita is trying to survive, and she ends up being such a caring character, and I really got attached to Vita. I was really, and remember in the last video I said Project Jamboree is important? Project Jamboree came into play in this book as well, and I was so sad when Cole died, when Cole was killed. It was so sad. I like practically cried because I really liked Cole a lot. And of course, you know who set up all that shit was frickin' Clancy. Clancy is like Colt Holiday from the Wildfire series. Seriously, he is. It's crazy. And I was so happy when his mom when Lillian shot Clancy. I was like, thank Tommy and Arceus, because we all wanted to shoot Clancy so bad. Something that was really traumatic that I liked when Ruby went back to Thurman. I gotta say this too. I thought it was very touching when they did Liberated Oasis as well, and the senator got her daughter back. That was such a sweet, touching moment. I thought that was really cool that she restored Sam's memory. And by the way, Alexandra Braken, I tweeted her, I asked her if she's going to tell, for her next book or novella, if she's going to do Liam's point of view. Because I would love to see Liam's point of view during the events before Never Fade, what he was doing and how he was going through the stuff. But Alexandra Braken responded to me, and she said the next thing she's going to do is she's going to finish writing Sam's story. So I'm really excited for that, and that means I get to reread the series too, and I really like that. What else do I got here that I'm going to I loved that the virus was Jude.exe. That was really awesome. And this is where I'm going to say as well that Nico, confessed that he was in love with Clancy, and it reminded me of Nico when he confessed his love to Percy in the Heroes of Olympus series. But it was a lot sadder. And the best line, I have to say, from Ruby was when she was captured by the PSF, and he was asking her why was she sent there, and she said to go fuck yourself. And I was like, yeah. And I thought what was a really touching moment, and I was cheering for Ruby, was when she refused to stay down. And she walked, even though, and I love that, we got to meet Cole and Liam's parents. I thought that was really cool, too. And I love that the first thing we see after she blacks out is we see her Grams. And I was like, oh, we have Grams. She's still alive, because this is what part of Ruby's goal was. I was so happy. And Ruby restored the memory of her parents, and oh, it was so beautiful. It was such a beautiful moment. And by the way, I love Chubbs. Chubbs are awesome. Chubbs is awesome. Like, he stood up and he said during the conference, he said that he didn't like the policy where they were going to put them back in the camp if they decided to keep their psi powers. And I was like thinking, thank you, Chubbs. This is why I like Chubbs. Chubbs' character development is fantastic. And it makes him what makes him my favorite character in this series. Because when we first met Chubbs in The Darkest Minds, he was quiet. He was quiet. He was still blunt, but he was, he wasn't as outgoing as he is by the end of the series. And I loved when Chubbs said, the response to one of the people that was concerned, which was, psi-afflicted humans have abilities that can't be controlled. They can be used as tools for individuals to commit crimes, gain unfair advantages, and harm others. And then Chubbs says, so can a pile of money. I was like, yes, go Chubbs. And Chubbs is going to be helping the senator, which is fantastic. And I really liked how it ended with them going in a black SUV. It kind of made me feel like the Black Betty moment. And we have Libby and Libby and Cheetah. Sorry, I have to say the couple names because it just is. Libby and Cheetah and Zoo were back on the road. And one last thing I want to mention is Zoo's story. That's another novella I want to see. Alexandra Braken, please give us Zoo's story. I'm talking about when Zoo's traveling across the country, because when Zoo was talking about that, about what happened, it was so sad, because this guy, I think his name was Gabe, was telling was a skip tracer, but he helped Zoo and her group get to a safe house, and he died because someone thought that he was going to take them in, or he was a threat. It was so sad. So I'd love to see Zeus' story. I want to know what your thoughts are on In the Afterlight. I want to say I liked In the Afterlight the most in this series because I just really enjoyed it. I love when a book gives me feels, like lots and lots of feels, and that's what this book did. So I want to hear your thoughts, and please like, comment, and share. Coming up next, we got the series that no, it's not Wildfire. Next, we got Alexandra Braken's other book that I didn't even know she wrote before The Darkest Minds, which is called Brightly Woven, and it is a fantastic book. So until the next time, Book Nerdigans, keep on reading.